Guests appear on the Goldberg Noon Abraham Hotline. Goldberg-Law.com.
Yes! Oh, I like it!
It's up to you now! It's up to you!
I like it!
Now, the best local sports show this town has ever heard. Here's Miller and Moulton.
You're live.
How the heck are you? Miller and Moulton, it's Friday. It's been a long week, hasn't it? The 20th of March. Thanks so much for being with us. Southwest Florida's Fox Sports Radio. We stream this and every show on this station at foxsportsfm.com. And you can catch Miller and Moulton many different ways, many different places. And we would love it if you would sign up for the Miller and Moulton channel via YouTube and Twitch TV. And if you're an Amazon Prime customer, you get a free Twitch channel. Make Miller and Moulton your channel of choice. Top of the morning to you, Mark. How are you?
I'm good, David. How about yourself?
A lot quieter today. All right. Was it your gambling losses yesterday? What is it that
Oh, no. I'm more bummed out that you told me Gulfstream Park's going to close on Friday. I lost $20 betting horses yesterday. Do you think that bothers me? I thought it was great. What are you kidding? I babysat three kids.
$2 a race?
I only bet a couple of races. I bet 5 across the board on one. I bet 5 on another one. David, I just enjoyed the fact that I could wager on a live sporting event. Losing wasn't really a big deal, David. It was the fact that I could gamble on it.
In fact, maybe the losing actually felt pretty good. It's like, you know what, I'm contributing to the cause. And if this is my small part of contributing to our economy, you know what, I feel good about it.
It was glorious. I was very nervous that they wouldn't run, but at 12:30, TVG came on. And I'm going to tell you something. If you are on any sort of, self-quarantine, you're working from home, you're taking care of the kids, you're doing what I'm doing, I would just ask you to throw it on for the commentary. I mean, they just have more random conversations than David and I have on this show, and they're doing a national television show. It's great. And they know they're the only thing live. I mean, they said it 5 times. Like, the one guy makes the point, hey, I'm a huge sports fan. I love basketball. Baseball's about to start. I'm a huge baseball fan. He goes, hockey, football, doesn't matter. I watch. He goes, we're the only game in town. That's it.
Yes, they are.
That's it. I'm watching Oaklawn Park. I'm watching the fairgrounds somewhere, and I'm watching Gulfstream, and I'm happy because there's competition going on, David, and it made me feel a touch normal. And yesterday, we've kind of worked something out. We've got my daughter's friends that live in our neighborhood. They're twins, same grade. So her mom is a little more freaked out than we are, a little more stressed, but she's an attorney and she's working from home. So yesterday she's like, hey, can you please watch them till around 1? I've got 2 calls that I have to get on. So when she came over, she called and said, texted, like, can I come get them? And I said, I asked the 2 girls and they all said, no, we're in the pool. I don't want my mom here. All right.
Good.
So about a half hour later, they were done swimming, wanted food, so I fed them again, and I had TVG on. And the mom walked in, just kind of looked at TV. I said, well, I think we're getting a lot more educational. I'm teaching about horses, odds, how to bet. She goes, oh, real world things. This is great.
Right.
I saw yesterday on one of the television shows that I just happened to have on. Actually, it was on TVG. What else would it be on?
I was going to say, what do you mean? Where was it on?
The lady made the comment that yesterday she was home and somehow she found something on YouTube TV that a woman who was an art teacher did, like an art class for kids. And she had her kids sit at the table and, like for an hour. I'm like, that's really fascinating. I watched the Indigo Girls last night do a concert on Facebook Live. I mean, there's a lot out there, but you got to look a little bit. So if this lady can teach art, I think I'm going to use our Twitch and YouTube page in the afternoon, David. I know they want more content. I think we can teach a simple gambling class to the youth of America. I mean, these kids, there's some of these kids are going to be going to college soon, and there are bookies that are going to try to take advantage of them, David. And it's our job to make them understand that parlays are not a smart wager.
No, they are not. They are not. They're like a sucker bet at a casino, which we could then broach and we could go into as well. We could start talking about, the middle of the craps table. You necessarily want to stay away from those bets. They lure you in, right? Very good. I like where you're going here. The folks at Twitch TV will love us.
We can give content.
Love us.
We can give content, David.
Mark, it'll be our version of a TED Talk.
And to my late father, David, we will dub these a Fred Talk.
Oh, very nice. Fred would love that. 249-8167. 249-8167 is our number to chime in, to call in, or text in via the Williamson Brothers Marine and Roofing text and talk line. 249-8167. What were the results of our poll question yesterday? In terms of how long of a week has it really been? We put a time frame on it. It was a week ago yesterday that the sports world essentially shuttered itself, and we asked, how long has the week felt? 1 week, 2 weeks, a month, or holy blank?
Yeah, David, 2 weeks, which was your answer, finished in dead last at 7.4%.
Thank you very much.
The week feeling like a week to people was about 17%.
Wow, I'm impressed.
The week feeling like a month to people was a little over 30%. And the week feeling like holy blank to people was just shy of 45%.
And to think that we may do 6 or 8 more of these suckers. Woo-wee. Man, oh man. It is going to be an interesting experiment, if you will. We are going to have so much sports on at the same time, and really good sports that we normally are excited about, but they are spaced out. And Mark, are we going to want to stay indoors to watch it?
Well, I thought all I gave you was a poll question this morning. We are closing in on perhaps allowing the first 15 minutes of the morning to be aired on Twitch TV. They're looking for additional content. And, if they want to see us stand around for a few minutes, what the hell? But
right. And if they want the meter to start running, we'll start the meter.
So exactly. So we didn't talk about much today because we did hook up about 10 minutes before the show, and I told David what the poll question was going to be, and he had no problem with it. But I thought about this yesterday. I was talking to my son for a while, and, Jacob's a gigantic NHL fan. Loves the Wings, but, he loves the National Hockey League. And we got to talking about what are they going to do? Because it certainly seems that both Adam Silver and Gary Bettman want to make sure that they have a postseason.
Yes.
It is very important to the two of them to have a conclusion to the 2019-2020 seasons.
Yes.
How are they going to do it? I thought we could have a little fun today, David, with, how we would, and we've talked a little bit about it, but how we would do these playoffs. Whether it's basketball, whether it's hockey. We can get into baseball at some point of how we would set the season up. We've talked a little bit about that as well. But these two sports, I know not everybody is a huge hockey fan, but down here we've got big hockey numbers. And the playoffs, David, looked like they were going to be terrific. There's 4 or 5 really solid teams in the East that were going to beat the hell out of one another. The NBA Western Conference has not looked this good in over a decade. To have complete parity from where the 1-8 matchups you went, ooh, this will be fun. The Lakers are going to win, but this should be a pretty good series. But, David, when we go back to the 80s and 90s, and they played some of these best of 3, best of 5, you can throw a lot of the records out. Once they went to best of 7, and they did that for more games, more television, but it also ensures that the better team usually wins. A lot easier for an upset to happen in a best of 5, certainly in a best of 3. And I think we are going to get that this year in the postseason. And it will make for a different and a more exciting postseason than I think we've seen in a long time. Not to mention, as you said, David, we are just going to be chomping at the damn bit for this.
Well, whenever the NBA resumes, and our assumption is that the regular seasons are over in hockey and basketball. Is that we agree on that?
Yeah, it just doesn't make any sense of how they
over?
could play any more regular season games.
Especially when, quite frankly, you look at the Eastern and Western Conference. Orlando has a 5.5 game lead over anyone else to be the 8th seed. And Memphis has a 3.5 game lead over 3 teams for the 8th seed. So even if you come back and you try to play, I mean, the likelihood is the 16 teams that are locked into playoff spots are going to make the playoffs, even if you try to play 2 weeks worth of regular season games, which you probably don't have the time for. But Mark,
because also, David, you're going to have to give these teams 2 or 3 weeks just to get back in shape and practice. So if we assume that mid-June seems to be a point, or early June, whatever you think, I have trouble believing we're going to have any normalcy much before June 1, David.
I agree with that, and I even threw out there, I don't know how much baseball we're going to have before July 4th.
I thought your idea yesterday, you said it pretty flippantly, pretty quickly in the show, David, but I thought about it all day, and I think you're on to something. And maybe it was the day before last in which you said, I wouldn't be surprised to see baseball move the All-Star game up, and that's the first game, and they go from there.
Yeah.
That makes sense to me.
Do? I mean, if you get the season started in mid to late June, you're going to play, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks, and then stop it for an All-Star break? I mean, you don't need a break.
And first off, you don't have it or you open with
All-Star
it.
Game.
Right.
You either cancel the All-Star game because, hey, we need the dates. We need to play as many games as possible. And baseball can push the season back because it was going to end fairly early. Remember, the season is starting next week, Mark.
Right.
The Major League Baseball season was scheduled to start next week. And, it's pretty darn early, May 24th or March 24th, something like that. And it was going to end around September 24th. So, they could push it back an extra 7, 10 plus days. And so they could jam in as many games as possible. If I'm baseball, I'm trying to play 100 games. That's the number I've got in my head right now. Can we play 100? I think most people would consider that, because if you think about it, in baseball, 100 out of 162 would feel much like 80 of 82. And if there's an abbreviated hockey or basketball season, they say, hey, we're going to play 50 games, I think most fans would go, well, yeah, that's enough.
We
That'll
loved
work.
it. We loved it when the
That'll work.
NBA
Yes,
did.
we
When the NBA and NHL did around 50 in years past with lockouts and strikes and things of that nature. So those seasons never bothered us. And, David, you're going to see, you've already seen a lot of charitable giving. In fact, I checked even like our Twitch dashboard because there's this little thing. Apparently on Twitch, you can tip us. Like there's a little jar on there that if you want to give us money, you can. And when we did this, David and I thought that was silly, and I'm over it now. With what we get paid by the radio station, a $5 tip might double our income. So I have no problem with the tip jar anymore.
Oh, boy.
But
here we go.
But I also thought,
starting a little early. Yeah.
But I also thought, and I've said it, I want to do something for some of the schools around here and where they're not getting meals. And I think David and I can come up with a few things. And I think, a listener of ours had a great idea as to basically divide up the charitable things between Twitch, YouTube, and the other things that we do to see who would win. I thought that, anytime there's competition, people love that. So we'll do something. We'll figure something out. But the leagues are doing it. We've seen Kevin Love and we've seen the owners and players step up. Baseball really hasn't, to my knowledge, a whole lot yet, but they haven't started playing yet. I would think that this All-Star game at the beginning of the season would be another wonderful way to raise money for some folks. And the leagues know that they have to do that. So why not have an All-Star game, figure out what charity it is you're giving it to, and do the start of the season exhibition for that. I think the way, first off, Trevor Bauer has to be the starting pitcher. And he tells all players, not Astros, what he's throwing.
It's outstanding. Outstanding. I like it. The season would get off to a flying start. Very quickly, Mark, if I'm NBA, NHL, I don't know if I can do best of 7 in the first round.
No!
I may have to shorten first round to best of 5, which I think actually would add a little more excitement because, let's face it, who knows who's going to be any good coming out of a 3-month hiatus? I mean, like Memphis couldn't beat the Lakers in a best-of-5 coming off a 3-month break.
David, there's no doubt, in hockey even more so. What goalie's going to be hot coming out of this thing? Every team has an hockey's a total crapshoot, crapshoot.
And you and I are of the belief, and for those that aren't hockey fans, the difference is usually a point or two that separates teams making the playoffs. It's hockey's very jumbled because of their point system and the way they do it. And in the East, you've got 11 teams that have their hand up in the air going, where are you going to make the cut?
I think it's 10, though, David.
Playoffs.
I think it's 10. I think they've got to go 7, 10, 8, 9, and a best-of-3. Hell, for all I care, they could go old school Stanley Cup Challenge and play a 2-game aggregate scoring one. I don't care. I know they won't do it. That was really for you and the soccer fans that are up this early.
Thank you.
But
Thank you.
A best-of-3 into some best-of-5s, and I think basketball can go best-of-5 all the way to the final.
Ooh, I wonder if they would do that. My guess is maybe by conference finals they'd extend it out to 7. Remember, ESPN's going to want some product. Same with Turner. But if they just shorten the first round, just to get it started, get it underway, the whole deal. Right now, Milwaukee would play Orlando. Toronto would play Brooklyn. The Celtics and Sixers would play each other. And the Heat and the Pacers would play each other. In the West, it'd be the Lakers and the Grizzlies. It'd be the Clippers and the Mavs. It'd be the Nuggets and the Rockets, and it'd be Utah and Oklahoma City. Best of 5s. That's got some appeal to it.
David,
we have no idea, quite frankly, who's coming out of the first round. I mean, we would like to think that Milwaukee and the Lakers are going to advance, but Orlando and Memphis shorten the series, steal a road game, and next thing you know, hey, this series is on.
Hey, just get it to a Game 5.
Right.
I don't care. In fact, I would rather have L.A. and Milwaukee both advance. But how much more enjoyable would it be? I mean, David, we watched these games of consequence in early round playoffs, and Game 5s were a son of a bitch. There's a lot of energy. Teams have a lot. I mean, they're very physical. I love them. And I get it. I understand why I'm not trying to go back. But for 1 year, we are going to have to do things differently. And we have a short time. There's 2 things here, David. One, we're going to have a short time to get these playoffs. One of the things the NHL was talking about is going almost to the end of August. We have an Olympic year this year. These teams are going to finish the post. We're going to finish the postseason, David, and most of these teams are going to start going to camp.
Well, hold on there. You mentioned it's an Olympic year. Right now, the Olympics are steadfast in we're playing where we're playing. July 24th to August 9th. We're not moving this thing back. We're not moving this thing to 2021. The Olympics are going on as scheduled. Well, then I'll tell you right now, the United States isn't going to win the gold in men's basketball. We're going to have a few people that are busy.
Well, this will be this is good news for those college. Yeah, for the good news, we'll send a college team again, David.
Poor Popovich finally gets to coach the U.S. Olympic team, and he might as well be coaching, the best that Dayton and Kansas and a few other schools have to offer. Miller and Moulton.
Poll question is up, David.
Oh, no. Are you going to throw this out there in the monologue?
I'm just saying that the poll question is up. That's all I'm saying.
All right, well. Lay it on them.
We can wait. We can wait till before the starting 5.
Be gentle.
Where will the New England Patriots finish in the AFC this year?
AFC East, you mean?
AFC East. Did I say NFC? I'm sorry.
No, you just said AFC.
Where will the Patriots finish in the AFC East?
Now, of course, Patriots fans going to just, oh, come on. Even with Jarrett Stidham, we're going to win the division. Would you dare to pick someone else to win the AFC East?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Really? Are you sure? Are you sure? George W. Bush was president the last time a team not named the New England Patriots won the AFC East. Just so you know, George W. Bush. How long ago does that feel right now? That's how many times in a row the Patriots have won the AFC East. And the team that everyone thinks is now the team that can overtake them, they haven't won the AFC East since the mid-90s. I'm just saying. Miller,
It's not like I'm picking the Browns.
Well, you might as well. You might as well. That's how much they have dominated this division. It's a great poll question, though. It really is. Nice way to end the week. You going to let it go throughout the weekend?
Ooh, I didn't put it up that way. I should have.
Miller and Moulton. The starting five is next. Some shocking news in the sports world yesterday in quite a few different places. We will throw it out at you when we come back. 22 minutes past the hour. Thanks so much for ending your week by making us part of your day. Miller and Moulton, Southwest Florida's Fox Sports Radio.
What time is it? There are times when we do this.
It is a crazy, crazy day.
Crazy.
There are other times when we do this.
I would never be doing something to make me look stupid. I mean, on purpose.
And then there are times when we do this.
Can we all agree now? Yes!
No.
It's not possible.
No.
When these times go down, you know you'll find it here on Fox Sports Radio.
At Napa Auto Parts stores and auto care centers, you can get Napa Adaptive One brake pads with reliable stopping power. Do it yourself or have it done for you. That's Napa know-how.
The Dear Happy Show.
Brought to you by Hardee's.
We've got Melissa on the line.
Hey, Happy. My kids have baseball practice on Saturday mornings, but it's my only day to sleep in.
Well, break it to them early that they're not going to make the majors.
But I don't want to crush their dreams.
That's fair. Then why don't you swing by Hardee's on the way and get the new BFC Frisco breakfast sandwich with a crispy wheel of cheese inside, so everyone's morning can be super.
Okay.
Call in next time at 1-833-HI-HAPPY.
Available for a limited time only at participating Hardee's restaurants.
Feed your happy. The Dear Happy Show.
Brought to you by Hardee's.
Eric, you're on with Happy.
Hey, Happy. I'm applying for a mortgage, and I'm debating a 15-year or a 30-year rate.
Forget about the property ladder. Get on the burger ladder.
What?
The new BFC Angus Thick Burger from Hardee's has a crispy wheel of cheese on top.
You're right. As long as I have a good burger, I'll always have a place to call home.
Exactly. Call in next time at 1-833-HI-HAPPY.
Available for a limited time only at participating Hardee's restaurants.
Feed your happy.
Why would someone take a chance on purchasing a frameless shower door from a big box store or an online discounter of an obscure brand, and then try and find a licensed, qualified installer to put it in, when you can deal directly with a local, family-owned business that consults, measures, manufactures, and installs their own award-winning brand of shower doors? My Shower Door is a family-owned and operated business and has the highest ratings on Angie's List and Home Advisor. Want to see more? Go to myShowerDoor.com.
Listen to the Dan Patrick Show at work.
Never boring, that's for sure.
Streaming 24/7 at FoxSportsFM.com. We are Fox Sports.
Hey, Aaron Walker here from Naples Nissan. So by now, you've had to have heard about our 8-year, 80,000-mile trade-in offer. If it's less than 8 years old, with less than 80,000 miles on it, we'll give you the original base MSRP for it. Yeah, so whatever that Toyota, Honda, Nissan, Hyundai, or Kia was worth 6, 7, 8 years ago, that's exactly what it'll be worth now. Ah, yes, but only at Naples Nissan. Chevy, Ford, Dodge, Chrysler, yep, we'll take those too. Hundreds of happy customers from all over Southwest Florida have already brought us their trade-in. It's not too late for you to do the same. We've got over 400 new Nissan models on our lot. Pick out your favorite 2019 or 2020 model at NaplesNissan.com, and then we'll give you the original base MSRP for your trade-in so you can drive it home today. Seriously, what are you waiting for? Offer on select models with approved credit and cannot be combined. Visit NaplesNissan.com for full details.
Boater's Landing, where you'll find the latest in Four Winds outboard-powered bow riders from 20 to 35 feet. You'll also find Four Winds boats carry one of the best warranties in the business. The Four Winds factory warranty is not just any 3-year warranty. It covers material, labor, and most boat components for 3 years. Four Winds boats, designed for families and saltwater. Boater's Landing, delivering the dream for over 30 years.
This is Mark Miller for Tim Tracing Motors, and I'm with Wes Dobbins, a very satisfied Tim Tracing Motors customer.
Thanks, Mark. Over the past 20 years, my family and I have purchased at least 17 vehicles from Tim Tracing Motors. Everything from Beamers to town cars to Cadillacs to cars for our kids to the Toyota Avalon and Highlander that we currently own. We've always been impressed by the thoughtful, straightforward way that Tim and Matt do business. We especially appreciate that they're so picky about the quality of cars that they bring to the market. They have always stood behind their cars, and that's why we'll continue to be loyal Tim Tracing Motors customers.
Well, there you have it. Visit online at timmotors.com. That's timmotors.com, or call to set up an appointment at 275-7900. 275-7900. At Tim Tracing Motors, they are confident when you meet them, you'll agree that you've never been to a dealership like theirs before. Visit online at timmotors.com. That's timmotors.com, or call to set up an appointment at 275-7900. 275-7900.
Here we go. Now back to Miller and Moulton. No. This is Miller and Moulton.
You're live.
"27 minutes past the hour. Miller and Moulton, thanks for being with us. Southwest Florida's Fox Sports Radio, streaming foxsportsfm.com, broadcasting live on the Miller and Moulton YouTube and Twitch TV channels. Chime in on the Williamson Brothers Marine text and talk line, 249-8167, 249-8167. Our poll question: where are the Patriots going to finish in the AFC East? And right now you have to answer this question with the assumption that Jarrett Stidham is the quarterback. And do you dare pick him to finish any place other than first? And I'm talking to you, Mark Miller. Do you dare pick him to finish any place other than first?
Oh, yeah, David, here's the scary thing is. Now, anybody, this is someone who is just a Browns diehard and the head of the Browns fan club in Naples Browns backers. Patriots are tanking for Lawrence, plus the Browns will have a better record.
Whoa.
Name the bet, sir.
Yeah.
Name the bet.
Nate, that the Browns will have a better record than the Patriots in 2020? Wow.
That's so ballsy. I love it.
That's well, we started off talking about gambling.
That's
nice
awesome. Good for you, sir. Good for you, sir. No one has picked the Patriots to finish in first yet. No one has picked the Patriots to finish in last yet. Time now for still time for Giro. The starting five.
It's somebody switch this again.
He gets so mad because we're yelling for him. He's hitting the button, and for whatever reason, nobody. There it is.
There we go. Stories that you need to know. This is Miller and Moulton starting five. Fox Sports Radio and FoxSportsFM.com.
Let's hope he's sorry. It makes it better, and it's not your fault. No one is supposed to use this studio but this show. And yet there are keys. You guys have on your computers are hotkeys that Jiro's just hitting a button. He knows when he hits whatever button, this fires. That's the way it works.
Right.
And then he hits the button and it doesn't work because someone came in and changed something on him.
Right. And
can't do that to a guy that's showing up at 5 a.m. for work.
And there's only supposed to be about 8 people that are allowed in the building nowadays anyway.
Correct.
What are they doing? What are they doing in our studio?
Touching our stuff. We're going to bring Seth Everett over. He'll punch somebody in the nose for touching his stuff.
Yesterday, as the show was ending, we said, hey, Darius Slay is going to get traded to the Eagles. And he did.
Yes, he did.
They immediately signed him to a 3-year deal and made him the highest paid corner in football by just a small amount. They gave him 3 years, $50 million. That averages to right around 16.7. Remember, the Dolphins had just signed the former Cowboys cornerback Jones there to 16.5 a year. So Slay, for the moment, the highest paid cornerback in the NFL. What was the draft pick that the Lions got? I mean, it wasn't that special.
Nope.
And then they immediately went out and signed the Trufant guy who got released by Atlanta. I don't know. That seems to be a downgrade to me. Help me out here. What am I missing? Why are the Lions repeatedly getting rid of guys, getting minimal back in return, and then replacing them with inferior players? Does anybody think this is a way to win? And the owner has said to both the coach and the GM, you better contend, if not make a playoff spot this year, or I'm bringing in new people. And so you get rid of a guy who's probably your second best player next to Matthew Stafford. Makes no sense to us. Todd Gurley was released by the Rams.
Yes, he was.
Apparently they tried to trade him. And once again, Mark, the inability to give players physicals played a big role as to why no one, I mean, his contract was not friendly, but no team, if they were interested in Gurley, could get near him to take a look at his knee and find out, all right, what is the deal with this knee? I mean, come on now.
Right, but even if they would have been in there to look at Todd Gurley, David, there is nobody on God's green earth that would have traded for that contract. Nobody.
Because at the end of the business day yesterday, certain guarantees were going to kick in, and the Rams decided, yeah, we're not going to do that. But here's the interesting thing. By cutting Gurley, he counts $20 million in dead cap space. And the Rams had to decide, are we going to take that $20 million all on this year's cap, or are we going to spread it out over the next 2 years? And they're going to spread it out, like 11 and change this year and 8 and change the next. But Todd Gurley is still costing the Rams. And what's interesting is, remember 2 years ago when Gurley got that quote-unquote contract extension? Yeah, he never saw a day of it. Remember, he's only been in the league 5 years. I mean, the extension part never kicked in except for
the signing bonus.
Signing and roster bonuses over the last 2 years. The Rams, if they had just kept Gurley on his original rookie contract, would have paid him $12 million total over the last 2 years. $12 million total. Instead, they paid him over $34 million between salary and bonuses for the same 2 years, and he's going to count $20 million against their cap over the next 2 years. The Rams have been the single most aggressive team in the league in signing their first-round picks to contract extensions. They sign them after year 3. Most everyone else in the league does it after year 4. And it has repeatedly come back, outside of Aaron Donald, it has repeatedly come back to bite them here in the last 5 years. Take a look at who they've drafted and who they've signed, and it has not worked out well. And the Rams window, Mark, from a salary cap standpoint, may very well have just shut.
Well, I think you're right, David. I think that's the other point of this, not just what they've spent on their first-round picks, but they brought in Ndamukong Suh in. And I know they were short-term deals, but they brought a lot of players in for short, quick deals and paid them pretty good money. And even on the second 2-year deals, there's a lot of roster bonus and signing bonus that were involved in that. So, David, you're dead on. They went out and they made a couple of different runs. They didn't get their Super Bowl, but they are probably, and we got Pat Kerwin coming on top of the 7 o'clock hour. We'll talk a little cap with him. They've got to be one of the toughest teams against the cap in the league right now, Pat. Or
they
David.
Also released Clay Matthews Jr. yesterday as well. Coronavirus news, Sean Payton, the Saints head coach, revealed that he tested positive for it, and he did so a while ago. I think he said he's got about 4 or 5 more days left in containment. 2 Lakers have tested positive. They are unnamed. The entire team is yet to be tested in full, and the Lakers now say they will do that. Celtics guard Marcus Smart revealed yesterday that he has tested positive for the coronavirus. A bummer. It's the only way to describe it for Chris Sale and the Red Sox decided this week and announced yesterday that Sale is going to have Tommy John surgery. So obviously he will miss the entire 2020 season, and we'll see as to when he'll be ready in 2021. And to be brutally honest, if you were to stop Chris Sale's career right now, he is on a Hall of Fame trajectory.
He's not in. He's nowhere close to in yet, but you are right. His path is going towards Cooperstown. And David, we've talked about this. He's always had a quirky motion. When he's had some elbow problems last year, you and I talked on and off air about it. When I saw the news yesterday, I didn't think about Cooperstown. I really and truly thought, will Chris Sale ever be the same pitcher again? And I know a lot of players have Tommy John surgery and recover. He has a different throwing motion. Some guys have the surgery and it doesn't help them the same way it helps others. I have a lot of reservations about Chris Sale going forward, and that, David, you said the right word. That's a bummer. That sucks.
It really is. Chris Sale to miss the 2020 season, and in a short period of time we'll have Tommy John surgery. And, unless you've got something else, Mark, no racing at Gulfstream Park today. I'll throw that in. And that is...
The starting five. 5 big stories that you need to know. This is Miller and Moulton Starting 5. Fox Sports Radio and FoxSportsFM.com.
The only other thing that's out there is that Adam Schefter reported in the middle of the day, the Bucs signing Tom Brady, and now their phones are ringing off the hook, and it's not just for season tickets. That apparently dozens of players have contacted the Bucs to say, we want to play for you. Huh. Okay. And everybody made a big deal because Edelman liked the tweet that Schefter sent out about, people wanting to play with Brady in Tampa and that sort of deal. And so, would the Patriots cut Edelman at age 35? Because he actually does have a noteworthy cap figure if they were to keep him. Of course, Jarrett Stidham does need somebody to throw the ball to, right?
In theory. Trust in Bill. That's what my Patriot friends were telling me yesterday.
That's right. Of course. Bill we trust.
Going to send them the poll question and let them answer it. Where will the Patriots finish in the AFC East?
They will all click first. They will all click first. They will. They won't even think about it.
Right. I know they won't.
They will not allow themselves to contemplate that there is another place in the division besides first. 11 consecutive AFC East championships. You really don't think they're just reflexively going to go first? And then maybe a few minutes later they may sit back and go, do you think we're going to do it this year?
And David, the more I think about it, that Browns-Patriots bet's a really good one.
It is.
It's a really good one. What do you think the Patriots over-under is right now?
Well, I'm guessing it had to go down a game.
A game?
I'm guessing it went down a game. Yeah.
If it's 8.5, what would you take?
Oh, I'd go over. I would definitely go over. Absolutely, I would. Yeah.
Okay.
Mark.
Right.
Mark, what do you think they'll have a winning record in the division, yes or no?
No, 500.
So you think they go 3-3?
Yes.
All right. I think they went 5-1 last year. So that would be 2 games worse right there. Okay. Now, I will say the schedule gets harder for everyone in the AFC East next year. Schedule gets harder. The AFC East had a relatively soft schedule last year. It's harder in 2020. Mark, you sound like you don't think they're going to win 10 games. Because it's been a long time. And by a long time, I mean 2002.
No, I know.
The Patriots did not win 10 games.
I know.
17 consecutive seasons. of winning 10 or more games.
They go west this year, for those wondering. Broncos and Raiders on the road, Niners and Cardinals on the road. Seahawks at home, Rams at home, Chargers at home, Chiefs at home. They have 8-8 written all over them.
Yeah. I voted first, by the way. Mark, there's two things I've learned in this world. I don't pick against Bill Belichick and Carl Semesco anymore. I just don't do it. I've picked against Semesco twice in the last 10 years. And he's just grinned at me as they had the net around his neck after they won the ASUN championship both times. So nope, I'm good. I'm good. There's two guys that I'm picking to win every single time until somebody knocks them off. Patriots and FGC women's basketball.
Fair enough.
Those are my two go-tos, right?
Fair enough. No reason to argue with someone making sense like that.
I mean, the Patriots lost Brady, and the women next year are losing 8 players. That's okay. Still pick
Yeah,
them.
and they're going to lose all of them, too, because all indications are winter sports players are not getting another year of eligibility.
No, they're not. And I don't think they should, by the way.
I don't either.
In most cases, in a majority of the cases, the winter sports season was over for more athletes than it wasn't. So, I mean, I feel badly for them. They got the raw end of the deal. There's no question about it. But a full year because you missed out on a handful of games, I don't know. Now, the spring sports, I agree. If you want to come back, it's going to be a mess, though. It's going to be a mess. I mean, schools have to pay for these scholarships.
Oh, goodness.
Well,
these poor schools.
No. The big boys, it's not a problem. All right, that's number one. But also number two, in all seriousness, you recruited players in a lot of cases based on playing time. Players are smart. They know you're losing X number of seniors. They know you've had this shortstop for 3 years who ain't going to be there next year. And you're thinking, oh, that's why I'm going there. And if all of a sudden that senior decides, well, heck, I'm coming back. And now you got a kid going, well, am I going to play? I mean, this ain't basketball. You know, in baseball, I mean, you know, the 9 guys are the 9 guys. That's pretty much it.
No, you're right, David. You're right. It can cause a lot of mess. It's very simple to figure out. We extend the scholarships for 1 more year. We add whatever we need to add to make it right for a year. I don't think this is that hard. And, David, here's the other side of this. 6 people care about spring sports.
Miller and Moulton. Pat Kerwin will join us coming up at the top of the hour. Randy Moss, no, not the former Vikings wide receiver, the gentleman who talks a little football, but he also talks a little horse racing, and that's why Mark wanted him on.
Yeah, the Louisiana Derby Saturday, and I need some help.
So 7:30 is for Mark Miller. He and Randy Moss are going to have a chat. And then
it's not just for me, David. It's for everyone because it's the only live sports on right now, and I think people want to bet. And we can legally bet from our homes on horse racing. We cannot legally, if every sport was going on, we legally could not make a bet in the state of Florida. But we could on horses. And the fact that we still can, I think people are bored. I think people want to gamble. Just trying to help them out.
And that's why Randy Moss is joining us at 7:30. And J.P. Peterson, who slept through his alarm. He was going to join us at 8 o'clock yesterday. Well, he's joining us at 8 o'clock today.
Do we have to call him earlier to wake him up?
I don't think so. He sent a very funny text message with a bunch of expletives in it. Okay, bashing himself as for what he did to us. J.P. Peterson from 8:20 a.m. in Tampa will join us at 8 to talk about, well, the golf game he had with Bruce Arians and Rondé Barber, in which he got the sense that TB12 was coming to Tampa. He'll talk about that and more in a little over an hour. Thanks so much for being with us, Miller and Moulton, here on Southwest Florida's Fox Sports Radio.
This is a special coronavirus update from Wink News.
I'm Teresa
Special
O'Shea with Wink
virus.
News. This morning, more positive cases of coronavirus here in Florida, now at 432. There are 30 confirmed cases here in Southwest Florida. The nationwide total is now above 14,000. All Lee and Collier County beaches are closed. Fort Myers Beach is cracking down on restrictions, now issuing a maximum $5,000 fine for anyone found on the beach. Collier County beaches are not handing out fines. In California, the governor is ordering a stay-at-home order for everyone in the state. And hours from now, President Trump will meet with small business owners to discuss the economic impacts. For updates on coronavirus, trust Wink News, facts, not fear.
Attention! Attention! Have you recently questioned your safety? These are chaotic times, and these are normal feelings. What can you do to feel safe?
Buy
and
a
confident?
gun.
Visit the Alamo
There it
Ranch
is.
in North Naples. Inquire about their training classes to help you be a confident marksman, and ask to be shown around by one of the staff. Notice its cleanliness and selections. Visit the Alamo and discover a new rewarding pastime. The Alamo Gun Range of Naples. Naples' premier indoor
Because
gun range
cleanliness
and
is next to
firearms
godliness,
superstore.
especially when you have a gun in your hand.
No matter where you're boating, with
Right.
Towboat US, you're covered by the world's largest towing fleet.
When
With
we
over
say
300
fight the
ports
coronavirus,
nationwide, your
we
local
mean
Towboat US
literally.
companies in Charlotte, Lee, and Collier
Come
counties
to the
here
gun
help
shack.
You're on
24/7,
mute. Can't hear you.
365 days a year. Inland, the river to Lake-O, and out 75 nautical miles.
If you're not on mute, I have you turned
Pricing
down.
starts as low as $99. Call 239-945-6464
Were you talking to me?
for more information, or visit
Were you talking to me?
TowboatUS.com.
I was.
Towboat
Okay,
US,
I had
you're
you turned
never
down.
stuck on the water.
Welcome to the program.
This is the Dan Patrick Show.
I think Luca is just
Well,
going to be one of those players.
I just joked. I said, when we mean fight the coronavirus, we mean literally.
Zion could go 5 for 18.
Come to the gun
without 10
shack.
highlight dunks and a block, and we'd go, "Did you see Zion last night?" That's the difference. Zion is a phenomenon. Luka's a better basketball player.
Michigan and Michigan State collectively did a video. The coaches, Izzo, Howard, Tucker, Harbaugh, a bunch of other women's coaches. Harbaugh on washing hands is fantastic.
There's only one candidate.
Wash your hands with vigorous enthusiasm, or something. Whatever he says, it is just.
Brooks Gourmet
It
Burgers
is so
and Dogs
spectacular.
Is the obvious choice. Voted number 2 in the nation by TripAdvisor, Brooks Gourmet Burgers and Dogs does it right. Owner Todd Brooks and his staff are committed to providing the best burger experience.
I got a couple
and
texts here,
superior
David.
Customer service.
Okay, good.
With favorites like the Donut Burger, which is a handcrafted burger between 2 glazed donuts and topped with American cheese and bacon. Brooks Gourmet Burgers and Dogs are truly building the dream one burger at a time. 4 locations: downtown Naples, Vanderbilt Beach and 41, on the East Trail at 951 and 41, and their newest location in Logan Landings on Immokalee Road in North Naples. See why Brooks Gourmet Burgers and Dogs deserves your vote today. Online at brooksburgers.com. Brooks Gourmet Burgers and Dogs, building the dream one burger at a time.
I'm Todd Brooks, and I approve this message.
There's no way we can play 3 weeks of regular season games. There's no way. They are going to have so much difficulty just getting the playoffs in that the regular season's over. I understand what you're saying, and I don't think that they just don't have time. Now, if somehow, some way they can start end of May, but you got to remember they're going to need a couple of weeks just to get back in shape. They haven't practiced. They haven't done, anything.
Feed your Happy. The Dear Happy Show.
Brought to you by Hardee's.
Eric, you're on with Happy.
Hey, Happy. I'm applying for a mortgage, and I'm debating a 15-year or a 30-year rate.
Forget about the property ladder. Get on the burger ladder.
What?
The new BFC Angus Thick Burger from Hardee's has a crispy wheel of cheese on top.
You're right. As long as I have a good burger, I'll always have a place to call home.
Exactly. Call in next time at 1-833-HI-HAPPY.
Available for a limited time only at participating Hardee's restaurants.
Feed your Happy.
Ever purchased an online item and either it doesn't fit, has missing parts, or became damaged? Trying to save a few bucks can end up costing more. My Shower Door is a locally owned and operated family business that measures, manufactures, and installs our own brand of frameless shower doors right here in Southwest Florida. And we were just named Lee County's Manufacturer of the Year. With almost 80,000 shower doors installed, we have the experience and expertise. Plus, estimates are always free. Want to see more? Go to myshowerdoor.com.
Now back to Miller and Moulton.
All right, now we're getting somewhere.
No. This is Miller and Moulton.
You're live.
9 minutes before the hour, Miller and Moulton. Thanks for being with us. Southwest Florida's Fox Sports Radio. Our poll question at that Mark Miller, the David Moulton on Twitter, or millerandmoulton.com. Where are the Patriots going to finish in the AFC East next season? First, second, third, or fourth? I'm voting first until proven otherwise. Right now, more votes for second place than anywhere else, and I can't believe there are some that are even voting him fourth.
That's just haters, David. That is simply just haters. Don't kid yourself. That's nothing more.
Take a deep breath. Take
nothing
it easy
more
there,
than
big fella.
Exactly. Nothing more than a little hatred there, David. 249-8167. That is the Williamson Brothers Marine and Roofing text line. You can always talk to us directly on Twitch TV. I do not know if David has set up yet. He has not responded to anybody.
No, I'm sorry. That's my bad.
He's got too much going on this morning.
Yep.
But you can talk to David a lot more on Twitch than anywhere else because he can't even see the text line. But the text line has been busy this morning, of which people are saying, the Patriots could win the East at 8-8, right? I don't think so. No. I don't think the Patriots could win the East at 8-8. I think it will take.
Win it at 9-7.
They could tie the division at 9-7. I think 10 outright wins that division, and I don't know if the Buffalo Bills are ready yet to get to 10. But
they did last year.
Someone did say for at least for our Twitch entertainment, David, we could just do old games on YouTube and do commentary and play-by-play if we wanted. That they said that would be worth listening.
Oh. All right.
Oh, you made David's day right there. If David could watch ESPN Classic games and do commentary, oh, my God.
Did you say play-by-play? I'm in. I'll do it. Count me in.
As of right now, I would pick the Patriots to finish second behind Buffalo. If they sign for a veteran like Andy Dalton, I might push them back to first place. This person says, do we have a whole generations of Pats fans who don't know what it's like to lose? Yes.
Correct.
Yes, we do. And what's interesting is that even though the older ones, and I talked to a couple earlier this week that have seen the games at, Harvard, Fenway Park before they went to Foxborough, they barely remember what it was like when the Patriots sucked. And they watched two generations of it.
Well, Mark, they went to the Super Bowl with Parcells as head coach, Belichick as D coordinator in the 96 season. From 96 through last year, that's 24 seasons. Only one of them a losing year. Belichick's first year, 5-11 in 2000. Because even though Parcells left, Pete Carroll came in, and 97, 98, 99, I didn't think they were a losing team in 99. I thought they went 8-8. If I'm wrong, I apologize. But 24 seasons, 23 of them 500 or better. Even in 2002, when they missed the playoffs, they finished in a three-way tie for first at 9-7. Dolphins, Jets, and Patriots. Jets won the tiebreaker, went to the playoffs. So yeah, that's a generation. That's a generation of Patriots fans who have no idea that the franchise before the mid-90s, outside of that one glorious playoff run in 85, was mocked.
Yeah, if you're under the age of about 33, you don't know what it's like for the Patriots to suck.
And they did.
Badly. They don't even... It was hard for them to factor into my brain in the first 4 or 5 years of this run as being a relevant team because they had never been in my lifetime. There was the one Tony Eason year that they went and got whooped in the Super Bowl by the Bears.
85.
Yeah. That was it. And remember, the Dolphins dominated that division for a generation. Maybe two.
They had a couple of good years in the mid-'70s with Steve Grogan as quarterback and Chuck Fairbanks as head coach. Longtime Patriots fans up until this run thought that the 76 team was their best team. They had the Raiders beat in Oakland in the playoffs. There's a controversial late hit on Stabler that kept the drive alive. Oakland won the game very late, ended up winning their only Super Bowl under John Madden that year. And, then the next year they won the division, and Earl Campbell and the Oilers came to town and whooped them. But before,
but I mean, think about it. You had the Dolphins for a generation, and then you had the Bills after that dominated for a 10-year period.
But before 1996, do you know how many playoff games the Patriots had hosted in their history? One. In their history. One playoff game before Parcells and company in 96, and then obviously this run.
Pat Kerwin coming up at the top of the hour. We will discuss Tom Brady going to the Buccaneers, obviously. Jameis Winston's name's been rumored with Washington. We'll bring that up with Pat as well. Cam Newton doesn't have a home as far as we know yet. What are the LA Chargers going to do? Are they going to go just for the draft from a quarterback position? So, lots still going on in the league continues to give to us, the National Football League. I can't imagine anybody who wrote those articles still feels the same way about the NFL doing their business as they did on Monday. I'm so thankful to the NFL right now, I don't even know what to do. David, I know you feel the same exact way. Saving sports shows once again, the National Football League.
Yeah, we're going to have to work next week. This week, not so much.
Go to our poll question. That Mark Miller, the David Moulton. Where will the Pats finish in the AFC East? That is today's poll question. Pat Kerwin coming up top of the hour. J.P. Peterson top of the 8 o'clock hour. And Randy Moss to talk a little horse racing as well. Still ahead on the show. Miller and Moulton, thank you so much for listening this morning, wherever you may be listening. Fox Sports Radio, foxsportsfm.com. We are always streaming on Twitch and our YouTube channel.
This is Mark Miller
David,
for Tim Tracing Motors, and I'm with Wes Dobbins, a very satisfied Tim Tracing Motors customer.
Thanks, Mark. Over the past 20 years, my family and I have
Well,
purchased
your clock's different than mine,
from Tim
because on
Tracing
mine,
Motors. Everything from Beamers to town cars to Cadillacs to cars for our kids
51.
to the Toyota Avalon and Highlander
So the
that we
seconds
currently
on
own.
your
We've always
computer
been
are different
impressed
than
by
the
the
seconds on
thoughtful,
mine.
straightforward way that Tim and Matt do business. We especially appreciate that.
Only get it here on Fox Sports Radio.
Pool need a checkup? Call the doctor.
What is
Pool
happening
doctor.
with the volume?
Dr. Mark here. Your old
I don't-
pump is
I don't-
David?
What is happening with the volume? It is constantly going up and down. All right. I mean, I've got my volumes fucking maxed,
The prescription
and I
is
keep
Pool
being
Doctor
told
for
I'm low.
award-winning pool
You are.
service
I don't know
that
what to
compares
tell you.
Unheard of $39 diagnostic calls. That's mypooldoctor.com or 239-574-1133.
This makes no
Certified
sense.
CPC 070088.
WFSX AM from Naples to Cape Coral and all of Southwest Florida. 103.3 Fox Sports Radio. We are Fox Sports. Here's what's trending now. Brought to you by the Center for Men's Health. C4MH.com.
Have your caller.
Yeah, they're not going to do a one-team tournament in the playoffs. There's no way. And we don't need 3 weeks of regular season games in either league for a bunch of bad teams. No one needs to see the Pistons or the Red Wings or any of these other horrible teams playing.
There's only one way to wake up in the morning.
How the heck are you?
Yep, that's it. Miller.
Do you know you can clean your own car?
And Moulton.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. The things we're going to learn.
Southwest Florida's Fox Sports Radio.
All guests appear on the Goldberg Noon Abraham hotline. Goldberg-law.com.
Oh, I like it's up to you now.
You're live.
Couple minutes past the top of the hour. Miller and Moulton, thanks so much for being with us. Southwest Florida's Fox Sports Radio, streaming foxsportsfm.com, broadcasting live many a place, including on the Miller and Moulton YouTube and Twitch TV channels. Our poll question, where will the Patriots finish in the AFC East in this coming season? Obviously, you have to answer that question right now with Jarrett Stidham as their quarterback. And as we welcome our next guest, Pat Kerwin. Pat, if you were to go online and vote in our poll question, what box would you check at this moment in time as free agency is in its infancy and we haven't had the draft and all that good stuff?
Well, that question really is, who is more important, Tom Brady or Bill Belichick? And I can answer that question if you put down fourth. I'd put down second. I'm not going to underestimate Belichick at this point. I don't think it'll be Stidham, but your quest is that including Stidham. So, second, I mean, the guy is still a resourceful coach, and he's still going to figure it out. And when I was with him, this is how he operates in free agency, and I always wondered if he was going to be the same way if he didn't have Brady. And the guy just waits it out, and he knows there's still good players out there that'll fit what he wants to do. And he's not afraid to make trades on draft day and trades now. So I would say he'll still figure out how to put a team out there that'll be second, and Buffalo will be first.
All right, Pat, what is Bill Belichick going to do from a quarterback standpoint, though? When you look at where they are now, what do you think his board looks like for who the starting quarterback is a year from now?
Yeah, it's well. First of all, the reason I think Dalton is not in Chicago, from what I was told, is that they're asking a lot. And kind of what I think I heard was too much at this point. So Dalton could land up in New England. New England could draft a guy that we are not thinking they're going to draft, like the Eason kid out of Washington, someone that's big, with a big arm that can sit in the pocket and throw the ball. And number three, which could become number one, they might do something really radical in the draft and move up and give away a bunch of stuff to get up there and get one of the three guys. That would shock the world, but wouldn't shock me. But Belichick, if he likes him, he might do it. So I think that's where it stands. I don't think it'll be Flacco. I don't think it'll be Cam Newton. I think it'll be either Dalton, trade up in the draft, or some other formula for him. But I don't think it'll be Stidham. I just think Stidham is what Stidham is. And I think his opinion of Stidham is kind of like, maybe it's Jacoby Brissett coming back, for all I know. That could happen. But to me, when he benched Stidham right away, it told me all I need to know about where he thinks the kid is, not ready to play. And at this point in his career, I don't think he's going to rely on Stidham. Now, if he gets stuck with him, that's a different story, but I don't think he will.
And when Pat mentioned Jacoby Brissett, I think we're all wondering who is going to be the odd man out in Indianapolis. Remember, they had Brissett and they had Hoyer backing him up last year, and they gave Hoyer a 3-year deal and then, solid backup money. And meanwhile, Brissett's making more than that. So that's a lot of money at the quarterback position right now in Indianapolis for 2020. And do they send one of those two veterans packing, and they could then, in theory, return to New England? Pat, the Brady stuff happened right after we got done talking on Tuesday. So we'll get your reaction to Tom Brady picking Tampa Bay. You can see my smile through the phone, can't you? How happy I am about this?
Well, so is everyone all the way down in Naples, Florida. I mean, I can't go out in the street without guys telling me that they're going to finally start going to games again. I talked to Ira Kaufman yesterday for a while. Brady's salary will be paid basically by the raising the ticket prices and the number of people buying tickets and merchandise, etc. So the Bucks really aren't going to lay out any new money. The new money is going to come right from the fans, right to Brady. So I think I'm excited for them. And you guys have talked about this 1,000 times, but they've never even given a second contract to another quarterback that they drafted. And we went back through the 70s, the 80s, the 90s. There's never been a guy like this in that town. Never. And so for the old-time fan who's been there, from the sombrero, this is what they dreamed about. Now, the dream has to come true, but there's enough talent there. They got to get Sue re-signed, a couple of things, but guys will want to come back, as we all know. So I don't know. This is not like bring us back to the old days. This is brand new for every Buck fan that ever lived.
It certainly is. What else do the Bucks need? When you look at Tampa, they've got Tom. They've got great weapons. They've got tight ends. But what do they need? Because I still look at them as the second best team in the division.
Yeah, well, two things I'd be doing. I think they'll do both. I think they really have to, they need a right tackle. Although I think that Dotson will come back and be the swing guy. I would draft a right tackle. There's a lot of good ones in the draft. Number one. And number two, they could sign like Dion Lewis right now and have a third down back that knows what he's doing with Tom. And then I would draft a back. Excuse me. And a lot of guys have speculated about Gurley and all that stuff. I think what he needs is what the third down back looks like, what James White does for him, what Dion Lewis used to do for him. So that kind of guy, and and you have to put a real eye on this offensive line, because if you can't let Brady stand on the midline, right behind the center, 5 yards deep, and throw the ball, none of this is going to work. So that's the focus in my mind. Get the line, and some of your starters might not be good enough. We'll see how people run through that offensive line, but I would be looking to bolster the offensive line and getting a back that can be his guy coming out of the backfield. We all see how much he works with James White. So those are the two things I think are the most immediate on the list. And they'll be in 12 personnel quite a bit, 2 tight ends. Cameron Brate should have a spectacular year. He'll push O.J. Howard to be better than he's ever been. Tom is rough on receivers that aren't meticulous in their route running. He's not going to let you have the excuse of dropping a ball. So they're not ready for that part of it. When you go to practice as many times as I have, Tom he's not one called hard. He's what every quarterback should be. He's going to push those guys, and when they run a square-in route at 12 yards and we're supposed to be at 13 yards, he's not going to be very happy, and he's going to let them know it.
Pat, would you consider getting in the Trent Williams sweepstakes if you're the Buccaneers?
Yeah, I think anytime you can upgrade your offensive line, I would do it. And you can get a left tackle. I don't think at this point there's no turning back on the money world. Just keep going. Start operating the way the guys in New Orleans do. They don't ever make excuses. They just keep trying to get better. And they leverage the future quite regularly. So Tampa Bay's never really had to leverage the future. So I would go after Trent Williams. Sure. I think that's an easy place to start, and it solves some things. Move the other kid over to right tackle. And look around. Like I thought a guy like Wisniewski would have been good for them. Obviously, he just signed with Pittsburgh, but another name or two inside would be important. But I would start by trying to get Trent Williams, and he's probably easy to get. Although the tradables that aren't traded yet, I promise you they're all asking too much, and the guys are not. Well, they're waiting for their market to fall. The tackle market is so good in the draft. I don't know what Washington thinks they're going to get for him at this point. There's two issues, age and money. So we have to settle for what we can get. The Foles deal, there's the other thing. These roster bonuses. Today's the 20th of March. A lot of roster bonuses are due today. That's why you saw Gurley get cut yesterday. Everyone knows why. $5 million roster bonus, $7.5 million for him. Foles had a $5 million guaranteed roster bonus for 2021, but it was due today. If he was on that roster today, same thing with Clay Matthews. He had a $4 million. So today is an interesting day when it comes to what people are going to do with guys that have. And that's what those roster bonuses are for. They're triggers to force the club and the agent to come to a decision. The club calls the agent and says, we don't really want to pay this. How about we restructure and we dump the roster bonus? The agent says no, and then they cut the guy. And now, why now? It's because the agent wants the player in free agency as soon as he can. And it's interesting. It always sounds, well, he'll be in free agency. But what do we all learn in about, 4 days? 2 of them weren't even official free agent days. We found out that you could almost do all of free agency for the whole league in 5 days. So the third day of the league year is a rough day. It's a lot of things have already been done and a lot of money's already been spent. But you'll see a couple other guys, I think, go down the pike. And today, maybe even one of the receivers out the Rams get traded. A lot of roster bonuses on that team. And if you look around the league, which I unfortunately waste a lot of my time doing, you see a lot of third day of the league year bonuses. So we see some more action today.
Cam Newton, where's he going to go? And Pat, is he one of the biggest casualties of what you spoke about last week when you were hoping the league would delay their year and talked specifically about players and physicals and not being taken? Just how much of that is affecting Cam Newton not getting a lot of play out there?
Well, let me react to the first part of it. They may live to regret that they started the league year because they're letting them use language that's inaccurate, not true, and false. They are not confirmed deals because no one's taking the physical. The Brady physical is a whole different world. Why? Because they were already raising ticket prices in Tampa Bay, and they basically needed his signature, so he took a physical in New York. Not a lot of clubs are going to go do that. Watch. So once the league said, you can kind of say you really did sign him, but it's always pending a physical. So some of these deals will backfire. If they get the virus, what are you going to do? You go give the guy a physical and he's got the virus. This thing could be going on for months, maybe a year. Who knows? So I don't really believe they're all signed, and I know that we'll have some backfires, and that thing leads me to Cam. So Cam, there's so many body parts that need to be inspected. It's going to be hard. See, here's interesting. Let me use Gurley for a second. Now, if Gurley goes back to quote-unquote home and is really close to the Falcons, and now he can go to the Falcon doctors because he's close to the Falcon doctors, then all of a sudden they might have a leg up on deciding if they should sign him or not. In regards to Cam, I would bet. Now, I get a lot of calls this week from Charger fans that want him. They imagine Cam, or they like to call him Superman, coming into the new stadium. And if I'm the Chargers, they have not nurtured a ticket fan base because of the bandbox they've been in. They're certainly way behind on selling tickets and PSLs for sure. They need a marketing splash, and who's left except Cam? So I think the Chargers, they'll deny everything. But who can sign Cam until you get him cleared on the physicals? Because he's never really been cleared on the physical. I sat down with Cam at the Super Bowl, and he said to me, we'll see what happens. I'm still in rehab. Once a guy tells you he's in rehab, he has not cleared his physical.
We're talking with Pat Kerwin of NFL Radio, Moving the Chains, weekday afternoons with his co-host Jim Miller. And Pat, of course, part of CBS's NFL Today show. And he joins us most Tuesdays and Fridays throughout what we consider to be the NFL season, which Pat keeps extending. All right. Once this quote-unquote season ends, then Pat joins us weekly. All right. That happened like once last year. Pat, we're very generous with his
NFL,
time.
David.
I know the season just keeps getting longer and
I think
longer.
It is too for you. But yeah, it is. It's fun. It's what I said 20 years ago to Pete Carroll when he said, "Are you coming with me?" I said, "Nope. I figured out in my mind that people are going to talk about the NFL 365 days a year, and I'm getting in on it. And it's going to turn into baseball. It's going to have its own hot stove league." He thinks, "You're crazy. Just come back and coach and be part of it." I said, "No, not doing it." To this day, he brings it up all the time. He goes, "I'm on your show in the middle of February. I never thought I'd be talking with you about football." on the show. I said, you could come on again tomorrow. You have 5 new topics.
Pat, I want to get into what you said a little bit ago, that you said the league will regret starting when they did. A lot of people wrote some nasty articles of how could the NFL do this. Pat, I've got to be honest. I don't know what I would have done this week without the National Football League. I want to thank them every day for continuing their business. So I am very curious to hear your points as to why you think down the road this will be a bad move. Now, maybe for the players in the deal, I don't know, but explain to me why you think the league starting will end up biting them, because it's been, Pat, it's been pretty good for us this week. This has not hurt at all.
No, it's that part of it's fine. Everyone needs something to talk about. And it's been extremely busy. And that part's nice. These are not confirmed contracts. And you think about it, we had 33 contracts from 7 o'clock yesterday morning to now, something like that. I got to keep my count going here. So this has been going on, and we're going to get into the hundreds. So I'll just ask you a simple question. If we sign or trade, let's call it 250 deals, only someone who's naive thinks all 250 are going to clear the medical process or clear the player staying out of trouble. So what are you going to do when you have a deal that's not complete and the guy fails a physical or he does something outrageous that you don't want him on your team, and you were allowed to use language that suggested it was a done deal? That's going to break out into holy hell. And that's why I worry about it. I don't think we can look at 250 deals with NFL guys in their 20s and think it's a clean sailing ship all the way through now. So that part of it troubles me on a lot of levels, because if I shut it down because I got my guy, and now it turns out I can't let him come here for what he just did, or I can't bring him in here with what I just found out on his physical. That's right. And the rest of free agency's over, so I can't get a guy at his position. What if he can't give these physicals till after the draft? You assume you have your quote-unquote defensive tackle in free agency. You go to the draft, you skip defensive tackle, and then he fails the physical when they finally can give physicals. You think that's going to be a good-looking sight, Mark?
Oh, no. I've heard you on the physicals all along. Pat, I get it. I just I wanted you to expound on the answer, because I think you are one of the few football people. I'm not talking about a guy that writes a column that covers all sports. You're a football guy, Pat. That's who you are. You could give a damn about columns, opinions. You say what you think is right. And that's why I wanted your answer on that, because I don't hear too many people making those claims right now. And I think if you do end up being right, Pat...
People are talking... Yeah, the people that are talking are enjoying the content that's flowing at them like Niagara Falls. I mean, I've had a busier week this week than any week of the year. It's up at 4 o'clock. It's looking at contracts. It's eat dinner, go back out there. Who signed while I was eating? It's fun, but they're not signed. And the ramifications that count, and the fan will not care about this. But if I do a handshake deal with you, you're an agent, I've got 4 of your clients on my team, but the guy we're talking about, and now we have a confirmation, is the biggest contract guy you've ever done with me. And then I got to call you on May 1st and say, hey, I got to moonwalk out of here, dude. I can't take this guy after what just happened. So relationships with agents, which is what this business is based on, will be the next problem. And you know what happens when that happens? Then the agents start working the media in the hometown of that coach or GM, or in the case of Houston, coach/GM, and those things come back to haunt people. Owners respond to that stuff. So to me, the ripple effect could be a year or two from now, and all of a sudden guys are painted as bad managers, and those kind of things can happen very quickly. So I always live in fear of that stuff for my friends.
Pat, we got about 3 or 4 minutes. I want to try to cover some ground here. NFC North, Foles to the Bears, Vikings, seemingly the bill is coming due, and they're having to finally make some hard personnel choices. Not sure they're getting better, and I'm not even sure they're staying the same. And then can you explain to me why in a win or we're getting fired year that the Lions are trading Slay?
Yeah, and plus the signings in Detroit are head scratchers. They don't appear to be getting better, in my opinion, at this point. We'll see. That Des Trufant is the replacement for Slay. I never thought Slay was, I said it on the show, I didn't think he was a top 5 corner. And I said that because he wanted to be the number 1 paid corner. And all you got to do is look at the guys that were all pro and put him in context, because he was a Pro Bowl player. Put him in context, and I think you'd call him 6. At least the guys I talked to thought 6. The Slay thing, that's called the same reason Diggs had to leave. These guys want to scream and yell, go to the media, whatever they do, and these coaches all want harmony in the locker room. You've got to learn how to coach the malcontent. You got to learn to keep the malcontent's lid on, and if you don't do that, you eventually be gone yourself. So it's a hard balancing act with those guys. Chicago, Foles. It's funny. I believe they really would have taken Dalton if they could have got him. Bill Lazor coached Dalton, but I think the asking price was too high. And Foles had to fold up because of that roster bonus, and that's why they only got a 4th, because they knew March 20th they were going to have to basically have $5 million more, and they didn't want to go down that road. So that trigger forced a low compensation deal to Chicago, and now I think Foles can beat out Trubisky. That shouldn't be very hard to do, and that's going to eventually cause some problems in Chicago for the future of the decision makers. You moved up in the draft for a guy that you just benched, and they're not going to be much better. They're going to be a good team, not a great team. The Viking thing, you're right. I think the Rams, the Vikings, there's a couple teams that they took their shot, if you will. And they rightfully should have. They had enough talent to say, we could win a Super Bowl at this. And then when they kept the linebacker Barr last year, who was in that Jet office,
I agree.
They went back in and threw more money at it because that was the most symbolic gesture. We don't want to go backwards at all. We got a Super Bowl team. Well, when you don't hit the Super Bowl, then there's a fire sale. That's what's going on.
And they came a game away, and I think in Minnesota, this group, if in fact it gets dissembled, if you will, or taken apart in the next couple of years, they'll always wonder what would have been if Teddy hadn't gotten hurt, because they were all young and affordable, and they thought they had their quarterback, and he gets hurt, a devastating injury in a non-contact practice. And I mean, the Vikings still got to an NFC Championship game a year later, but you really wonder, they had him, he was affordable, they were all together, they were all young, they hadn't hit free agency yet. They were set up to have a run, and they did okay, but they didn't have a run.
No, it's the Seattle model. If you get a Russell Wilson, and Teddy was there, Russell Wilson, I don't know if he's as good, but yeah, the door was wide open. No quarterback contract to hold you back. Locked up everybody else. Same thing Seattle did. Now I might put Carolina in this mix, if you really think about it. And Teddy's an okay player, but is he even close to the guy you're talking about from his Viking days? We're going to find out. So I know the Carolina fans aren't very happy. It's funny how they see Cam. They don't see an inaccurate thrower. They don't see a guy that's been banged up. They just see him as their hero.
Yeah,
and
they see
Carolina
Superman.
Fans, yeah, and they're not happy. So is Teddy going to even get an even shot there with the fan base, especially if Cam's playing somewhere and doing okay?
Well, I think we all think they're tanking for Trevor, just the way a year ago we all thought the Dolphins were tanking for Tua. Pat, pay attention over the next 7 hours. Make sure you don't miss anything before your show at 3.
There's no chance. I missed something by talking to you guys.
And Pat, I got even more bad news for you. I think it's already happened, but I think they've shut down stone crab trapping.
It's not the kind of information I need on a Friday night.
Might have a few left in the freezer for you, Pat. I'll take care of it.
Oh, you know what? You'll get an option to do that. Otherwise, I will remember that code and punch it in my face.
He's Pat Kerwin. He co-hosts Moving the Chains with Jim Miller on NFL Radio every weekday afternoon from 3 to 7, and he's part of CBS's NFL Today show, and he's been a friend of the show for, well, just about every day we have been together. Pat, thanks so much. Have a great weekend.
Take care, fellas. Talk to you soon.
Pat Kerwin, kind enough to join us once again here on Miller and Moulton. J.P. Peterson at the top of the hour to talk about Brady and the Buccaneers. But coming up next, Randy Moss. No, not the Hall of Fame wide receiver, the racing and NFL reporter and analyst. He will join us next on Miller and Moulton. Thanks so much for being with us. Southwest Florida's Fox Sports Radio.
This is The Herd with Colin Cowherd.
But if you're defending Phillip Rivers here, you don't get it. It's over. And they treated him like gold. And Phillip Rivers acknowledged they treated me like family. Folks, baseball's about romanticizing. Basketball, they're style points. Football's about winning. Bruh, that's it. It's over. Stop romanticizing it. That's for baseball nerds.
Colin Cowherd.
Weekdays at noon on Southwest Florida's Fox Sports Radio and FoxSportsFM.com.
Dr. Jim DiRispino from Center for Men's Health today in Frank's garage. Doc, I was talking to a buddy of mine, telling him about my spring break plans, and he's like, where do you get the energy to do all this stuff? I said, testosterone replacement from C4MH.com. And then he asked me what testosterone has to do with energy.
Most people are aware of the effects of testosterone has on strength and sex drive, but for 99% of our patients, energy is the main focus.
I became a patient because I didn't want to lose muscle mass.
And there is hard data that testosterone improves mood, concentration, and memory.
So Center for Men's Health isn't just treating testosterone deficiency, it's treating the quality of your life.
Let me make this simple. Your body is a machine, and that machine was the perfect testosterone level. But if you want to see how good your machine can perform, go to C4MH.com and spend the $45. You'll get over $400 of lab tests and a 30-minute physician consultation.
It's fast, easy, and convenient with locations all up and down the West Florida coast. Go to C4MH.com.
Welcome to Jimmy P's Chard. As you enter through the front doors, you'll know that you've arrived in the finest steak and chop house in Southwest Florida. All cuts expertly cut at their very own butcher shop. A true butcher block-to-table experience. 3 generations of mastering Wagyu beef, heritage Berkshire pork, poultry, lamb, and veal. The mood of Chard's nostalgic dining area is upbeat, high energy, and casual sophistication. A friendly and relaxed place, not fancy or stuffy. Chard's staff works hard to make you feel at home. Come in and unwind. Enjoy an exquisite glass of wine or perhaps a handcrafted beer with your perfectly charred steak. Afternoon or evening, it's going to be a wonderful experience at Chard. Jimmy P's Chard on South US 41 in Bonita Springs. Jimmy P's Butcher Shop on Old US 41 in Bonita Springs. Online at jimmypschard.com. Welcome to Jimmy P's Chard. Stop in today and tell them Jimmy sent you.
Attention Dish TV customers. Wink TV is pleased to let you know that Dish has decided to offer Wink and Wink News programs to Dish subscribers. You will now be able to access the latest developments from Wink News on the coronavirus story, as well as all your favorite syndicated and CBS network shows. While there is currently no assurance from Dish to carry Wink once the coronavirus threat is ended, we hope Dish will accept our offer to carry Wink TV on Dish. Let Dish know you trust and want Wink News.
I'm a busy person.
Catch the show anytime. Check out MillerandMoulton.com and subscribe to the daily podcasts.
No matter where you're boating, with Towboat US, you're covered by the world's largest towing fleet with over 300 ports nationwide. Your local Towboat US companies in Charlotte, Lee, and Collier counties are here to help 24/7, 365 days a year. Inland, the river to Lake O, and out 75 nautical miles. And new member specials are running all year. Call 239-945-1664 for more information, or visit towboatuscapecoral.com. With Towboat US, you're never stuck on the water. Welcome to the Alamo Gun Range of Naples. Are you a first-time shooter with a lot of questions and need training? The Alamo Gun Range of Naples is here for you. With our clean, comfortable, and relaxing atmosphere and a staff that's certified and trained to provide you with the answers and training you need to get started, you'll feel right at home. The Alamo Gun Range of Naples. Naples' premier indoor gun range and firearms superstore. alamorange.com.
Out here, you need to control your environment, or it may control you. You need the Kubota L2501 HST compact tractor. It comes with all the easy-to-use implements you need. Get the L2501 HST for as low as $149 a month with 0% APR financing for 84 months, plus a 6-year limited powertrain warranty. Now through February 29th, 2020. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com for more information.
This is Brian Creel from Creel Tractor. Visit us online at CreelTractor.com. Creel Tractor since 1972.
Here we go! Now back to Miller and Moulton.
No.
This is Miller and Moulton.
You're live.
"31 minutes past the hour, so just past the midway point on this Friday of Miller and Moulton. Thanks for being with us and making us part of your day here on Southwest Florida's Fox Sports Radio. We've gotten many text and people reaching out in our Twitch chat room about, hey, are you guys? No. We're going to be here every day. We're going to be doing a show. There's plenty to talk about. There's plenty of people to interview. We know a few folks. All right. No.
We'll be fine.
Got your caller.
We'll be fine. I will say, I got to read this quick text before we get to our guest, because David is via Skype. If you're watching Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, there's a box with most of David's head. He should move the camera a little bit because he cuts off the middle of his forehead, but that's all right. It says, I was not enjoying the Skype window yesterday. Today I realize it's fantastic. Mark looks healthy and happy. Meanwhile, in parts unknown, David looks like a beleaguered U.S. national quarantined overseas. I did not write any of that. I'm just assuring you of that.
That's quality material right there, sir. That is quality material, which is also what Randy Moss provides when he is able to work as part of the NBC Sports family, covering horse racing in the Olympics, and he also does some work with the NFL Network. You can follow Randy on Twitter at Randy_Moss_TV. Randy, top of the morning to you. Hope you and your family are safe and are well. How are you?
We are, and I hope the same for you guys, and I'm glad you added that caveat, when he is able to work. Right now, yes. I know what it's like to be retired.
Yeah, I mean, Randy, I wanted you on the show because yesterday and the day before, I have locked myself into TVG starting at about 12:30. I'm watching Gulf Shore. I'm watching anything that they can throw on there because it's the only damn live sports we have. And then Gulfstream shuts down for today. I don't know, Randy, if you could help me out if they're still going to run the Louisiana Derby Saturday. But your sport is in a really weird spot because the Derby has already announced that it's moving its date. Yet all the Derby prelims are going on. And horse racing didn't want to stop. Is it going to be forced to stop?
It's in a very bizarre sort of middle ground, right? It's the only sport out there. I was going to say major sport. I'm not so sure horse racing is a major sport anymore, other than the Triple Crown and Breeders' Cup time. But it's not a contact sport, right? The jockeys are in close contact with each other in the jockey room, but other than that, it's conducted in wide open spaces where, people aren't necessarily that close to each other. Horses can't catch this coronavirus. There are certain coronaviruses that spread just among horses, but this particular COVID-19, horses are not susceptible to. So the way racetracks are doing it, like the Fairgrounds in New Orleans, which is going to run the Louisiana Derby currently on Saturday, like Gulfstream, other than today, Santa Anita, Oaklawn Park in Arkansas, they're running races just without fans in the grandstand. This is it can be done economically in horse racing because nowadays, the way the sport's conducted at most tracks around the country, the grandstands are 3/4 empty anyway. Most people are betting from home, which is now easily done. Almost every big horse bettor in America has an account with one of the online companies, and they can sit in their living room and they can not only watch the races on their computer, they can bet, and it's actually easier to bet from home than it is to bet from the track. So maybe 10% of the money bet at most racetracks on most races in America is actually bet at the track, and 90% is bet from somewhere else. So horse racing is uniquely positioned right now to be able to continue for now, as long as you don't get any, major outbreaks on the backstretch where horses are taken care of and all that. Now, this past week, you're probably aware of this, but we had a very unique situation in Arkansas where they ran a big race day at Oaklawn Park on Saturday, several major stakes races. One of the races had a horse in it that was owned by Bill Parcells. Parcells lives in New York. He was not able to travel down for the race, but Sean Payton was. And Payton, of course, formerly worked for Bill Parcells. So Payton's a big horse racing fan. He got on apparently a private jet in New Orleans, flew up to Hot Springs, Arkansas, to watch Bill Parcells' horse run in the Rebel. The race, he had lunch with his trainer in the grandstand that day. The race before Bill Parcells' horse ran, they asked Sean Payton to present the trophy in the winner's circle, which he did, shaking hands with the winning owner and the winning jockey and the winning trainer after the race. And then, of course, Sean flew back to New Orleans, and then on Sunday, the very next day, started exhibiting symptoms, and Monday was tested positive. So now the trainers involved are on self-quarantine, and right now they say they're experiencing no symptoms, but they're being careful. And the whole world is just going crazy right now with all this stuff, and who knows where we're going.
Well, there's no doubt about it, and we're talking with Randy Moss of the NBC Sports family and also the NFL Network. You can follow him on Twitter, Randy_Moss_TV. With the Derby pushing it back, does that put pressure on the Preakness and Belmont to do the same? I mean, come on. We start off the Triple Crown races. It always starts with the Derby. I mean, we're not going to start with one of the other two, right? Or are they going to, like we're seeing in other sports where, the French Open, Randy, just picked their own date as to when they're going to reschedule. They didn't talk to Wimbledon or the U.S. Open. They took care of themselves. And it's kind of boxed in the U.S. Open, actually, as to what they're going to do. And I'm wondering, with the Derby picking their time, we're going to do it here, does that basically force the Preakness and Belmont to fall in line?
No. It doesn't force them to fall in line. There's certainly pressure on the Preakness, the Stronach Group that runs Pimlico, and the New York Racing Association that runs Belmont Park. The Preakness, they've already announced that the Preakness will be moved, but now they're trying to ascertain the date that it will be moved to. You would think if it was that much of a slam dunk, they would already have come out and said, okay, we're going to run the Preakness 2 weeks after the Kentucky Derby on September the 19th. One thing that all of us that have been involved in horse racing for a long time have come to realize, we've actually been, hit over the head with it. It's very difficult to get racetrack owners to agree on what to have for lunch, much less cooperate with each other. There is no love lost between Churchill Downs Incorporated and the Stronach Group, and between either of those groups and the New York Racing Association. They do what's best for them, and they don't give a flip what's best for the other two. And, I hope they'll fall in line, and we'll still have a reconstituted Triple Crown in September and maybe the Belmont run in early October, but it's far from a sure thing.
Yeah, I believe it was 1931. I looked it up this week. I think I have the year right. That's when the Derby decided that it would be the first Saturday in May as opposed to different points in May, and it's run that Saturday every year since until now. Randy, I want you to do a little PSA for all of us. Now, I used to spend a lot of time at the harness tracks when I was much younger and knew people and, could get in. And I can still read a program, but for those of us that are jumping on TVG, so that we don't lose even more money than we're already losing with our 401ks, give a Reader's Digest version of how you would tell someone who's going to attack TVG and maybe want to wager a little bit, some advice so they don't get crushed and can have a little fun.
First of all, don't try to catch up in horse racing what you've lost in your 401k. That's rule number one. Danger Will Robinson there. Okay. What I always tell people when they don't know much about horse racing and they want to go to the track, I ask them, well, what would you spend if you go to a movie, if you go to dinner with your significant other? And they might say, well, a nice dinner, a movie nowadays, I might spend $100, maybe a little bit more than that. And you have a good time, all right? So if you want to be entertained and take that money and say, okay, I'm going to take that money to the racetrack, if that's what I decide to do, to go to the races, that's my budget. If I lose it, if I walk away with zero, I've had a good time. I've spent the same amount of money that I would spend going somewhere else. And I've had a little intellectual exercise and watched the horses run and had some excitement. But don't get all bent out of shape if you lose your $100. I mean, so many people will be willing to spend $100 at a movie or dinner, and then they'll go to the racetrack, and when they lose 40, they'll be fuming when they walk out of the track. That's ridiculous. I can't believe I lost that money. Just treat it as fun, treat it as entertainment, and I think you'll find that you enjoy it.
I had a blast losing $20 yesterday, Randy. First off, it was found money because I opened my Twin Spires account and there was actually still money. There was a balance there, so I'm like, "This is great."
Hey, there you go.
I was in my head. I was up when I started.
That's it. That's the right attitude. And just there's no rules about how to bet. Some people love and focus on betting what they call exotic bets, betting a lot of trifectas and superfectas and exacta boxes and pick threes and pick fours and pick fives, and other people like to bet horses to win, right? If they win, you win. If they lose, you lose. Win, play, show. There's all sorts of different modes that you can participate, but just do whatever your tolerance for risk will enable you to do and still have fun and enjoy it.
Randy, 10 minutes ago when we brought you on, we said that you do Olympic work with NBC, and obviously, even though the Olympics as of today are like, hey, we're not pushing them back and we're not going to 2021, it's July 24th, August 9th, here we are, we're still on. Your gut feeling just about the Olympics and or what you think they should do. And I am curious, Randy, since the Triple Crown's under NBC's umbrella, the Olympics are under NBC's umbrella. I mean, man, I'd like to think that the Olympics and horse racing can't go forward without getting NBC's approval. There's a lot of money NBC doles out for this stuff. I wouldn't operate independently if I were these people.
Well, I know the various Triple Crown proprietors have been in contact with NBC. I know Churchill Downs Inc. was talking with NBC when it made its decision to move to early September, and I know the Preakness people have already been in contact and things like that. So that is happening. I don't know anything. I don't have any inside information whatsoever about NBC's involvement with the International Olympic Committee or anything like that in terms of any decision to postpone the games or not. I have no information about whether they might or might not be postponed. I'll just tell you, personal opinion, Randy Moss, not speaking as NBC's Randy Moss, would be surprised if the Olympics aren't postponed at this point. Wouldn't you?
Yes. If for no other reason, Randy, then the entire qualifying worldwide is a complete mess, and I think it would be unfair, quite frankly, to hundreds of athletes, if not thousands, to throw an Olympics together here in 4 months with virtually no proper qualifying.
Exactly. Apart from the whole coronavirus aspect of it, right now, I mean, if the coronavirus, went away, completely vanished in a month, which, as we know, is very unlikely to happen, you still have the qualifying issues. Athletes have not been able to train. Gyms are closed. Training facilities are closed. And we all know the specialized training that goes into being an Olympic athlete nowadays, and that's just I just can't see how that could happen. But hopefully I'm wrong. But we'll see.
Randy, as always, thank you so much for your time this morning. We really appreciate it. Hopefully you get to do a little work with the horse racing coming up for some of these. And if not, enjoy the time, and we'll catch up with you very soon.
Stay safe.
All right. Bet with your head and not over it.
Very good advice, Randy.
Nice.
Take
Randy
care.
Moss, part of the NBC Sports family, and also does some work with NFL Network, horse racing, the Olympics, and the NFL. You can follow Randy on Twitter, Randy_Moss_TV. Miller and Moulton. Today was the day when, and then J.P. Peterson to talk Brady and the Bucks at the top of the hour here on Southwest Florida's Fox Sports Radio.
This is a special coronavirus update from Wink News.
I'm Therese O'Shea with Wink News. This morning, more positive cases of coronavirus here in Florida, now at 432. There are 30 confirmed cases here in Southwest Florida. The nationwide total is now above 14,000. All Lee and Collier County beaches are closed. Fort Myers Beach is cracking down on restrictions, now issuing a maximum $5,000 fine for anyone found on the beach. Collier County beaches are not handing out fines. In California, the governor is ordering a stay-at-home order for everyone in the state. And hours from now, President Trump will meet with small business owners to discuss the economic impacts. For updates on coronavirus, trust Wink News, facts, not fear.
Great news, Southwest Florida. 0% APR financing for 84 months. Now available on new Rams, Jeeps, and Dodges at Galliana Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Fort Myers. Over 1,100 Chryslers, Dodges, Jeeps, and Rams in stock. 2019 Ram 1500 Tradesman. Now just $299 per month. That's right, $299 per month. And you own it. With interest-free financing for 84 months. Qualifying purchases with no payments for 90 days. Almost every 2020 Jeep Wrangler at friends and family below invoice pricing. Best of all, at Galliana Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Fort Myers, we offer at-home test drives and at-home delivery at your convenience. That's right, 0% APR financing for 84 months on new Rams, Jeeps, and Dodges. Plus, at-home 481-2600. GallianaCars.com. $29.99 down plus tax, dealer fee. $299 per month for 84 months at 0% APR. Excludes Rubicon. Offers don't combine.
There's a lot of roofing companies, remodeling contractors.
We're not going to use music today
granite
again, right?
Cabinet guys. And then there's Tri-Town Construction, the area's premier general contractor, serving Lee and Collier counties for the past 15 years. Tri-Town Construction provides all your building needs, from roofing to interior, exterior remodeling, and custom construction of brand new energy-efficient homes. With Tri-Town Construction, one call does it all. And when it comes to insurance claims for home or roofing repairs, Tri-Town Construction deals with the insurance company on your behalf. No other building contractor compares to Tri-Town Construction. To schedule an estimate and learn more about this environmentally friendly and community-minded company, visit tri-townconstruction.com. The last company you'll ever need for all your home repair, remodeling, and construction projects.
Tell you what,
Tri-Town Construction.
Starting to realize that David makes this room warmer. It is a lot cooler with just one of us in here.
With a tile or shingle roof,
and he can't hear me right now, so I don't even feel bad about ripping him. He's just off in
I'm
space.
Jimmy Williamson with Williamson Brothers Roofing. If you answered yes to either question, it's very likely your roof suffered damage from Hurricane Irma that's not visible from the ground, and you may very well be entitled to a new roof for little or no money out of pocket.
Yeah.
But you only have a 3-year
little
limit
bit
to make a claim, and time is running out. If you
Not
have a
gonna lie to
tile or
you.
Shingle roof and live
Is
between
it
Port
the
Charlotte
lack
and
of
Marco
light?
Island, call us.
Is it
239?
It's just the no background. Oh, hang on. Jesus. Yeah, go.
Benefit you in the form of a new roof. Williamson Brothers Roofing. We deal with the insurance
Once
carrier
again,
for
turn
you.
your fucking
Call
mic
us at
on.
239-283-2013. Again, time is running out.
Yeah, it's not so much the lighting, it's just that the background. Like I have a set, and I've just got you in this little box, and it's a wall. I mean, it looks like a passport photo being ready to be taken. I mean, you could be, you could be in Homeland right now. You could be Carrie. You could be the other one. We don't know.
Nice. I don't think the gray beard helps either.
Who's got it better than us? 239-249-8167. We are.
I just said, David. I think you're, it's not just you, but the two of us. This room seems 20 degrees colder with just one person in here. I just had to shut the fan off and open the door. It's freezing in here, and it's the same temperature we have it every day. We run hot, David. I don't know what to tell you.
We do run hot. I am the size of a manatee, so maybe that has something to do with it.
There you go. All right.
Wink News.
Done with you.
Oh, love your new TV. And the sound, it's amazing. But where are the speakers? It's like they're invisible.
They are invisible. It's the coolest new technology, and they're the best speakers on the
How
market.
do you only see
It's
Pat?
crazy.
Pat's not
I've
on
heard
there.
of wireless speakers.
Put Pat on
but
like that.
invisible speakers?
Pat hasn't
That's
been on in.
epic.
Epic Audio and Video.
What do you mean,
invites you
Hops?
to
All I
experience
see is Pat.
invisible
Yeah, I
speakers
have
for
to admit,
yourself.
on
You
my
won't believe your
on my
ears
phone
or
on
your
Twitch
eyes.
TV,
Visit
it still
Epic
has
Audio
Pat's
Video
slide.
Show on the corner of US 41 and Pine Ridge in Naples, or online at epicaudiovideo.com.
Now back to Miller and Moulton.
Yeah.
This is Miller and Moulton.
You're live.
Nine minutes before 8 o'clock, J.P. Peterson to join us after the top of the hour to talk a little Brady and the Bucks and where they go from here. Want to remind you, if you miss any part of the show, that's what Kinetico is for. They sponsor our podcast. Every hour is its own podcast. And Mark, you and I, huge fans of Kinetico. We've been customers combined for, 30 years. But if you think about it, with the situation that we're in now, I mean, I have never gone through more water, and I don't have to run out and fight to see whether there's still water on the shelves and all that. And Kinetico has never been more valuable, I know, to me and my family than it is right now.
In fact, it's so good that when I turn it on, I have two different things I can push. I can just turn the water on, or I can hit a special switch, and the Kinetico water actually rolls itself into toilet paper.
That is the uniqueness of Kinetico, Quality Water Systems of Southwest Florida, proud sponsors of our Kinetico cast. If you miss any part of the show, check it out. Kinetico 908-2300.
It is time now for
Miller and Moulton's Today Was the Day When, giving you the history of today's date so you're a beacon of useless knowledge around the office.
Useless, but a lot of fun to talk about.
This is Today Was the Day When. Fox Sports Radio and FoxSportsFM.com.
Today in 1911, the National Squash Tennis Association forms, David. Big foundation, 109 years ago today. 1922, WIP in Philadelphia begins radio transmissions. 1930, Harlan Sanders in North Corbin, Kentucky, opens up Kentucky Fried Chicken.
90 years ago?
Today.
KFC's 90 years old.
There you have it.
Just funny, because the Sanders looked 90 50 years ago.
Probably was. 1934, Babe Saharius pitches a hitless inning for the Philadelphia A's in an exhibition preseason game against the Brooklyn Dodgers.
Many people consider her the greatest female athlete ever.
Don't know how you cannot. 1948, at the Grand National Horse Race, Sheila's Cottage becomes the first mare to win the Grand National for 46 years, a 50-1 winner. Broke down odds yesterday for my daughter and her two friends. We're starting to work on that. The straight odds, the fractions, a lot for the kindergartners, but we'll get there. Amateur Patty Kirk wins her only major title, winning the LPGA Titles Hold Champions, beating Patty Berg by 2 in 1949. In 54, LaSalle beats Bradley. Tom Gola is the MOP, Most Outstanding Player, for the NCAA basketball tournament. In 65, UCLA would beat Michigan for back-to-back titles, 91-80. Gail Goodrich with 42. Today in 68, LBJ signed a bill removing gold backing from U.S. paper money. It's worked out really well. 1969, John and Yoko got married at the Rock of Gibraltar in Spain, which is still owned by Britain. The Ballad of John and Yoko is about their ordeal finding a location for their nuptials. It was today in 1973, 11 weeks after his death, when Roberto Clemente was elected into baseball's Hall of Fame. That same day, Police Story premiered on NBC. It was based on LAPD's Joseph Wambaugh's writings. 1982, I Love Rock and Roll by Joan Jett goes number 1 for 7 weeks. 88, Tyson knocks out Tony Tubbs for the title. The Reds, or baseball announced today in 1989 that Reds manager Pete Rose is under investigation.
Wonder how that worked out.
Yeah. Michael Jackson signed Big Doe with Sony today in 1991, a $65 million 6-album deal. And a year ago, Finland was named the world's happiest country. South Sudan is the world's least happy country. If you were born today, you share your birthday with the great Carl Reiner, 98 years old today. Mr. Rogers would have been 92. Fred Rogers, born in Pennsylvania today. Hal Linden, Barney Miller, born today in 1931, David. Jerry Reed, the other half of, Smokey and the Bandit. Jerry Reed, born today in 1937. Pat Riley is 75 years old today. Bobby Orr is 72.
1 minute.
Former NHL and LA King Charlie Zimmer, born today in 1954. Spike Lee, born today in 1957. Sting is 61 years old, and I wonder how she looks at 57. Kathy Ireland, born today in 1963. I think arguably the hottest SI swimsuit model.
Really?
There's just one picture of her with the
Okay.
Mookie Blaylock, born today in 67, and Sloane Stevens, David, is 27 years old. Today was the day when, on the 20th of March.
249-8167 is how you can chime into the show via the Williamson Brothers Marine and Roofing text and talk line 249-8167. J.P. Peterson from 8:20 a.m. in Tampa to talk Brady and the Bucks next.
We are Fox Sports! No matter where you're boating, with Towboat US, you're covered by the world's largest towing fleet with over 300 ports nationwide. Your local Towboat US companies in Charlotte, Lee, and Collier counties are here to help 24/7, 365 days a year. Inland, the river to Lake O, and out 75 nautical miles. And new membership pricing starts as low as $99. Call 239-945-1664 for more information. Or visit towboatuscapecoral.com. With Towboat US, you're never stuck on the water.
The coronavirus has changed our lives.
COVID-19 can be characterized as a pandemic.
Who would have ever thought we'd see a day when sports would stop?
It's not about your brackets or who's going to win March Madness. It's sort of about getting through.
Sure, Fox Sports Radio will continue to keep you informed on all the latest coronavirus information through our partners at Wink News.
The number of cases of coronavirus in the state.
And for the latest in our ever-changing sports world.
Tom Brady is officially signing with the Tampa Bay Bucks.
Count on Southwest Florida's Fox Sports Radio.
We're on the phone with our good friend Tim Meister, owner of the Floor Meisters in Naples. TJ, we hear you've added several new colors of Core-Tec to your great lineup of products at the store. Tell us more about that.
We just ordered 5 new colors of Core-Tec for our stock. All nice, light, beautiful colors for Southwest Florida. That'll bring our total of 55 colors of Core-Tec in stock every day for purchase and take home.
And it's not just the many colors of Core-Tec that you have. You also have other Core-Tec products as well.
We also carry the Core-Tec Stone product. Looks like tile, looks like stone, but it's Core-Tec, so you get the softness, quietness, and the easy installation to go with it. We also have Core-Tec Wood. Look of wood, real wood, but with a more stable core for Southwest Florida's humidity.
If you haven't been to the Floor Meisters, you really owe it to yourself to visit the store. 6281 Naples Boulevard, right next to Costco, or go online, floormeisters.com. That's floormeisters.com.
WFSX AM from Naples to Cape Coral and all of Southwest Florida. 94.1 Fox Sports Radio.
We are Fox Sports!
Here's what's trending now. Brought to you by the Center for Men's Health. C4MH.com.
Got your caller.
There's only one way to wake up in the morning.
How the heck are you?
Yep, that's it. Miller.
Do you know you can clean your own car?
And Moulton.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. The things we're going to learn.
Southwest Florida's Fox Sports Radio.
All guests appear on the Goldberg Noon Abraham hotline. Goldberg-law.com.
Yes! Oh, I like it.
It's up to you now. It's up to you.
I like it.
Now, the best local sports show this town has ever heard. Here's Miller and Moulton.
You're live.
Third and final hour of Miller and Moulton on this Friday, the 20th. Thanks so much for being with us. And we will be here for the duration. Don't you worry about that here on Southwest Florida's Fox Sports Radio.
It's not like we could take a day off, David. Where the hell are we going to go?
And what the are we going to do?
Really? We're stuck. If anything, we're going to do more work than less. There may be Twitch-only shows coming up soon. I mean, what the hell else are we going to do?
There is likely to become bonus shows and interviews and what have you on our Twitch TV channel. Joining us now on the Goldberg Noon Abraham Law Firm hotline, local people, local practice, local knowledge, Goldberg-law.com, is JP Peterson. You see him on Fox Sports Florida. He's host of the JP Show on AM 820 in Tampa, and you can also find it on the FanStream app, which is, well, part of his Twitter handle, at FanStream JP. JP, top of the morning to you. How you feeling? How's life?
Oh, fantastic, guys. Apologize for yesterday. Still on a little bit of mountain time there, but I'm up and around, getting my Buccaneers tickets, getting in line on Ticketmaster. About 7,000 people in front of me. See a 15% price increase, but that's okay. We're relevant again, so everybody's happy. Actually, a lot of Bucs fans are pissed off at this price increase, but they'll get over it.
You know, they're going to have to. Sorry about your luck. I had no problem. I couldn't buy 2 season tickets in the club fast enough in the last 48 hours, and I'm very happy with the $3,500 I spent on them, and I figure I sell them and I get to go to 2 games for free is the way I've always looked at this. But I want to know, how the hell did you get on the golf course with Arians? I don't even care about Tom Brady. I want to know how you got in this foursome, JP.
Well, Rondé Barber and I have been good friends for a long time. We used to do a show back in the early aughts, News Channel 8 here in Tampa, and when he first got into the league, and so it was. You should have seen Rondé as a young TV reporter or analyst. It was kind of fun, but with everything he does, he worked his ass off and got really, really good at it. And so we've remained friends for a long time. And you guys, you may or may not know this story, but Bruce Arians actually babysat Rondé and Tiki when they were young because he was roommates with his dad. So literally when he changed his diapers. So, yeah, he and BA are pretty close. So it may or may not be the reason why I broke a lot of these stories. So we'll just leave it at that. And I will tell you this, that they were in very early on Tom Brady, and it wasn't like it was pie in the sky. I mean, after they did the evaluations of Jameis Winston, it just became very clear that, okay, there should be some other options out there. And I'm not really telling you guys anything you didn't know because everything that Bruce had told me, he pretty much said in public, what's behind door number 2. And I think a lot of people thought this was all some type of, negotiating tactic to drive Jameis's price down. And no, it was very real. They were looking at other options. And as I reported many, many weeks ago, it was Brady, Bridgewater, and Jameis. And they felt all along that they could win with all 3 of them with this team that they have coming back. And I think people are starting to see now as they, stop with the lazy take of, same old Bucs, why would he go there? Look under the hood a little bit and go, damn, this team was number 1 in defensive efficiency in the last 6 weeks when JPP came back. They've re-signed him. The defense is on to come with Todd Bowles. I mean, they've really got better. And, Jameis put them in so many holes that the overall numbers of points given up look bad. But when you look at their efficiency, they did a hell of a job last year handling all those turnovers. So you got a good defense, you got a hell of a lot of weapons, and a quarterback that, at 43 years old is not what he was, at 41 when he was winning a Super Bowl. but he's still plenty damn good enough. He's got good arm strength. That's a narrative that's been dispelled. Hopefully, this is a marriage that is going to work, if only for a couple of years. But hey, 2 years of bliss, I'll take it.
JP, did Arians think before they were able to get involved in the process? Did he think, hey, we'll have a real shot at Brady? Or were they just hopeful? Because I always thought they were going to have a real shot. I mean, Mark and I have discussed this, obviously, like every other show for months. As far back as November, I actually thought Tampa was a very viable place. And once the season ended, I said I think he's going to go to Tampa. I saw Tampa as very viable. A lot of people didn't. Did the Bucs think Brady would see them as viable?
Well, I think they did because they were very aggressive from the start. They never really thought that this was pie in the sky because, Arians has dealt with Peyton Manning and Ben Roethlisberger and Andrew Luck and, some of these big names. And he has a relationship with Brady. If not, they're not good buddies, but obviously a professional relationship. And when you look, and you were absolutely right, if the lazy people were just saying, oh, he'd never go to Tampa Bay. But when you really looked at the situation, and you knew Brady would do this. I mean, this is a guy that calculates how many flakes he eats for breakfast, for God's sakes. So you know that he was going to do the dirty work and see which was really the best fit for him. And there was also this narrative, he would never thrive in an Arians offense. And I just think that's absolutely laughable and insulting, frankly, to Bruce Arians and his coaching staff to think that the greatest quarterback in the history of the game, and yes, diminished talent somewhat, would not be able to somehow figure out how to be efficient with Godwin, Mike Evans, O.J. Howard, Cam Brate. They're going to improve the running game, obviously. They got a 14th pick to take one of these great offensive tackles. I mean, Tom Brady is not a stupid man. And there's another layer to this that I think is very interesting as he begins his second season of life. This is no inside information or anything like that, but people are starting to connect the dots between, some very rich people in Bill Gates and Jeffrey Vinnick and Water Street downtown. I would guess that Brady would take a look at this very large compound that Derek Jeter has not been living in for the last 2 or 3 years on Davis Island here in Tampa that is about 15 minutes from his new workplace. So there's a lot of interesting opportunity with the Super Bowl coming here, and all these buildings downtown in Water Street. This is what Vinnick wants to do. He wants to bring the world to Tampa Bay. All these other northeastern companies, by the way, where Vinnick used to live in Boston. And again, I'm not reporting anything. I'm just saying there's a lot of opportunity here for Tom outside of football for his second season of life to become an investor with a lot of big time names and big time money.
All right, two-parter. First off, does Arians play to his handicap? And secondly, what running back would you get? Because the one thing that Tampa's going to need is a pass-catching running back for Tom Brady. We all know that is a huge part of their weaponry, and Tampa doesn't have one. So first, does Arians play to his handicap? Is he a